Our phones are our world, and when we drop them, everything comes crashing down, especially the prices. The sound no one wants to hear. College students often rely on their phones for schoolwork. Student Deontay Biden uses his phone for simple tasks.
I usually connect my phone to my laptop to read passages, do quick math, and for basic communication.
Most students have to come out of pocket if their phones are damaged. This may be a problem for iPhone users with the latest technology. Apple will now charge customers up to $500 for rear screen repairs. Student Jake Stubbs disagrees with the charges.
That it's kind of ridiculous having to pay like that much for the back of your phone when the whole phone costs like a little bit more than that.
Apple offers a coverage plan for damages called Apple Care. However, student Keelan Thompson thinks paying for the plan is a waste of time.
It's still like I'm paying for something that's not really, damaged or anything like that. So.
Although Apple offers outrageous prices, student Rufus Nuago is committed to its products.
Definitely, for sure. See, I know these things about Apple, but I still very much love Apple. They've never disappointed me.
With rising prices for repairs, students are keeping their wallets close and their phones closer. From TV 308, this is Trevion Collins. Derek Chauvin was the infamous police officer who played a part in the death of George Floyd. As he stands trial, Chauvin has decided not to testify on his behalf. The prosecution opened and closed its case against Derek Chauvin and claims Chauvin's excessive use of force while restraining the late George Floyd caused his death. Lafayette criminal defense attorney Thomas E. Gilbo, who is not associated with the Minneapolis case, says Chauvin's defense is trying to keep him afloat while facing several charges.
He has a second-degree murder case, which can get you up to 40 years in prison. He has a third-degree murder case, which can get you up to 25 years in prison, if they can come back to that. And he has a second-degree manslaughter, which can get you 0 to 10 years. So
Gilbo thinks the defense is working to ensure Chauvin receives the least amount of time in prison possible.
Really trying to gear it down to second-degree manslaughter, which is a 0 to 10, where he would do a light sentence, so to speak.
As the trial continues, people who have followed the case, like Carissa De La Paz and Amari Rowe, both remember May 25th, 2020, as the date Floyd died.
I was very confused, shocked. There was a lot of questions that were not answered and couldn't be answered for a very long time.
I didn't think anybody would do something like that, but at the same time, we live in a cruel world, so.
Some people have mixed feelings about Chauvin's decision not to testify.
Given us some insight into his thought process around what had happened that day and everything. So the fact that he didn't does raise some red flags for me personally.
I think he made the right decision because everything was clear. He killed them. He basically choked them.
Probably the correct decision not to testify. You don't have to testify if it's going to get you incriminated.
Less than 2% of police officers are prosecuted for fatal shootings. Like former Minnesota officer Kim Potter, Chauvin is facing up to 40 years for his charges. For TV 308, I'm Trevion Collins.
It's a student-run newspaper. We cover all things ranging from school events, school news, to national events, national news, to sports events as well, or anything dealing with the sports world, to even just opinions, thoughts that are provided, as you see, by students as well.
Discussions about a bunch of different stuff for our office, but they're seriously proud of you guys and happy on what you're doing well. Expecting you to come to development. They're pleased with the content and they're doing good things about it.
I have a good bit of duties that doesn't just, it's not even just specifically like, of course, editing pieces, approving pieces. Those are technically my main responsibilities, editing pieces, just overseeing the operation, overseeing everything happening, make sure, you know, everything that gets put out is of good quality. You know, it's nothing that's censored as well for students or just for anybody that's putting the information out there. And I'm also just doing a lot of proofreading. I do a lot of, you know, managing when it comes to checking in with people, when it comes to making sure that writers or just staff members as well, not just writers, are on track with what their assignment is, what they got going on for that week. So I also communicate amongst just about everybody that is in the Vermilion, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. We're all like, you know, unified and stuff.
Ooh, should we start from when the assignment sheet goes out?
Yes.
Okay.
So on Wednesday, that's kind of when work on the next issue will begin. So I will send out an assignment sheet to all our writers and designers, and me and Mia will work on the news section for that and basically pick out what news stories are going to be interesting. And from that Wednesday to the next Saturday is when the writers and designers have time to work on their stories and work on their photos and graphics. And there's a lot of going over the articles like several times through, because first we'll have the copy editors and desk heads look at everything on the Google Doc, and then they'll come in the office and look at everything again to make sure, like, fact checking and all that.
Like 3 people have to look at it. Then Lena has to look at it.
And then it goes on the layout, and then we'll look at it on the layout, and then it'll be printed, and then we'll look at it on the print version, and then it'll be the final layout, and then we'll look at the final layout.
You know, do we have enough pictures for like 2 sports stories to take up a whole page?